Hello and welcome to episode 151 of the Gochuucast. And I am tired because I've been kept up by construction work since 7 a.m., but the show must go on. Uh,
Beast.
Last week we talked about seasonals, and it's probably going to be this week, I would assume. I've had a
Was there even
few
anything exciting that happened this week?
new things air, and I really liked all of them, so that's something.
I see.
I guess I can start off with those, actually.
Sure.
I'll just go in release order. So oh, actually, what's this? Fuck, we might have talked about this one last time. I don't remember if it was. It came out
Oh,
on
I
the
can watch the
day of.
Licorice Recoil thing right now.
It came out on
It's
the.
2 minutes.
Actually, it's the day before. I talked about the Ninja one already.
We did talk about the Ninja one.
Okay, in that case, I only have two things to share. Well, I guess the Licorice Recoil one came out, but Mono, which is the photography club one from the Yuru Camp author.
Oh.
That shit slapped. Absolute banger. Might be my favorite thing this season.
Holy, okay.
I
Interesting.
haven't watched
I
episode
have it.
2 of the Ninja one, so I don't know, but
I have it on the theoretical list, but I didn't necessarily have high expectations or anything.
the production quality is really good. It's also really funny, so it's just a quality. And some people kind of compared some of the like animation, like comedy qualities to Bochi in a sense, in
Okay.
terms of some of the goofier scenes, and then it has some interesting like camera perspectives as well because they're the photography club. So I mean, you see kind of like a time lapse, but like I guess less smooth time lapse, like just more through photos. Which I mean, that's kind of what recording a time lapse is anyway. But um, they also have like the 360 camera that, and so seeing that in animated perspective was interesting as well. It's only one episode, so who knows? Maybe it falls off. But I thought episode 1 was extremely good, and I am very excited for more of it. Which I thought I'd like this anyway, but I didn't think I'd like it as much as I did.
Yeah, I kind of put it on my list because it was like looked like it could be decent, but I was also like, I don't know, maybe I'll get to it, maybe I won't, and that's still probably the case. But it's interesting to hear how well you enjoyed it. Definitely adds some credibility.
Yeah, I think slice of life and slash comedy is kind of like carrying the season for me so far. I'm some episodes behind on other things, but like I don't know. The other thing I watched was Food for the Soul, which I also had fun with.
Oh, it's the one where they're at university and they. I think of the right one.
Yeah, you're thinking of the right one.
Equals now.
Yeah.
I didn't even remember that they were university students. I got jump scared
I,
by
I just
college.
remember reading the synopsis and reading university. I don't know why. I just remember that. But yeah.
But yeah, I watched that, and I also had a lot of fun with that one. Not quite to the extent of Mono, but I also found this one to be quite enjoyable. Pretty decent comedy. Production quality isn't like insane or anything, but it's decent. Um, and then I enjoyed the interactions of the characters thus far. Episode 1, the end of it had a funny little twist that isn't going to mean much going forward because of what the anime is, but it was like a funny way to end
They
off an
have it.
episode. Yeah. Um, I'm sure it's probably going to get resolved like literally next episode or two, but it was an unexpected little detour. But yeah, I had fun with Food for the Soul. And then Licorice Recoil.
I just watched it
Yeah, the shorts
live on air.
short is really doing a lot of talking there. It's real short. It's really
It
short.
it basically felt like I was just reading like a page. Like it gave me the same feeling of like reading a like new chapter of like a 4 coma, right? Which is fine.
Yeah, just a
It was
quick
just like
little
a cute
two
little
minute
thing.
short.
And then at the end they have like not really a twist, but like a little like just like turn, I guess, to make you be like, "Oh, that's the joke," I guess. It was good.
I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was. Surely we get the movie announced at the end of this.
Movie.
Yeah, the movie. The
Cool.
movie that has been leaked for a while.
Has it been leaked for a while?
Yeah, I think the leaks were like, we're gonna have little short
You're
episodes, and
right.
then we're gonna have
There's
a
yeah.
movie. So I kind of teased the movie
I remember
in
they
like
teased something.
sort of in the trailer for the shorts. Chisato was like, "Yay, we're doing a movie," and Takina was like, "No, no, we're doing short movies." Like little short episodes, and then Chisato complains that she wants to do a full one. So I guess that's like a little hint potentially as to what we're getting there. Um, but yeah, I have literally nothing to say about it other than I hope we get the movie at the end of these 6 episodes, or we get like an announcement for it. But yeah, that's all the new stuff I did. I'm pretty behind on everything because I was gonna watch a bunch of stuff today, and then there was hammering on the house for 14 hours, so I wasn't really in the mood to watch anything until I literally had to for the podcast.
Yeah, you get the
From
weekend.
work.
You get the
Yeah.
weekend. I watched episode 1 of, it's called Anne. The original is Anne of Green Gables and Shirley. I don't know if I'm going to continue watching it, to be honest.
Is it a
It's,
seasonal?
yeah,
Or is
let me
it
look.
It's a
Anne
seasonal, yeah.
Shirley. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I only watched episode 1. Episode 2 is already out, but I only watched episode 1. It's like, I mean, it's just introducing the story, so it's kind of hard for me to like make a judgment on it. But like, um, it's like about an orphan, and she's just staying with these two, I guess like parents, and I don't know. It's just like I think I might just watch episode 2 just to see how it goes. But it's like kind of interesting, but I could like see myself getting bored with it. So I don't know. I think the right thing to do would be just continue watching it, see how it goes. But as of now, I'm not like super I don't know, compelled or anything. Like I didn't like love it or anything. But I'll watch episode 2 if it's okay. I'll um keep watching it. But yeah, it's nothing of note so far. And then Daniel, did you watch Lazarus episode 2 or
I
no?
watched
Not
episode
yet.
1. I haven't watched episode 2 yet.
Okay, yeah, I watched episode 2 of that. It's kind of interesting. Kind of, I don't know. I'll keep watching it. It's like interesting enough, but it's like um nothing super insane, at least for me. So yeah, I don't know. 2 kind of like shows I'm like kind of neutral on, but I'll keep watching and we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't really seen a lot of discussion of Lazarus. It's like the first week everyone was like, "Oh
Yeah.
my god, episode 1 is incredible," and it's like I watched it, I'm like, "Oh, it's just he's just running around and just doing action sequence for the whole episode, and then that's it." And somehow that
Yeah.
counts as like masterclass, which I mean it was well made, but like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I'll definitely see. I don't know. 13 episodes is you have 13 episodes and you spend an entire episode kind of just I mean you just like set the board to be played, I
Yeah.
guess, but there's still a lot more to do and not a lot of time to do it, so I just don't know
Yeah.
if they're gonna be able to tell a compelling enough narrative within that time.
Yeah. I mean, stuff happens in this next episode, but it's like, yeah, your point about the narrative is like kind of important because like a lot of this episode, I guess without spoiling, is like there's like some action scenes and stuff like that. So, yeah, we'll see. I don't have again super
if
strong opinions about
Yeah,
it.
if
So
the action's gonna take like a big forefront too, like that's just time that's gonna get used up that we already
yeah,
don't have. So it's like,
it's not super big, but yeah, it's more for sure. Yeah.
yeah,
Um. Yeah, those are the only 2 other ones. Oh no. I watched yeah, because this was right after I watched episode 2 of That's Journey or whatever. The freaking
Zatsutabi, yeah,
Zatsu Tabi. Yeah, Zatsu Tabi. I don't know if I'm gonna continue. I don't know. It's kind of like too chill. I don't know. It's too chill for me. Um
Dude, chill.
Yeah, I know, right?
Spats picking up all these slice of life. Like, why are they so normal?
Why
No,
are they
no. I'm
Why are
picking it
they
up because I
slice
just
of
wanted to
life?
try it, bro. There's nothing wrong with trying it and not
I mean,
liking
there's
it,
nothing
right?
wrong
Like,
with trying it, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know what else you expected going into
oh,
it.
it's not about expecting. I mean, you never know. So anyway,
I guess you never
it
know,
was what
but
45 minutes of my life. That's fine. I'm okay. You know, I tried it, didn't like it. It's cool.
Back to
So yeah.
plot. I had bunch of IRL issues, so I got to do the homework and I watched both episodes. Well, the 2 episodes I had left, so all 3 episodes of the Once Upon a Witch's Death is the only non-homework thing I got to do.
I watched episode 2 of it, but I did not get around to watching episode 3.
Episode 3 was good. It's just like, I don't know, I like this show. It's just kind of like comfy, but there's enough plot going on that it doesn't feel like a wholly slice of life.
Yeah.
Episode 3, which is kind of more of that. This girl's got to pick up the pace, though.
She's not getting 1,000. I mean, we talked about this last week. She's not getting 1,000.
She might not even get 100.
That's also true.
Shit, how much time passed in episode 2? Like a week or 2?
Episode 2, a week went by, and she's like, "All right, guys, what
She
do I
got
have to
2 tiers.
average to get it through?" No, she got 1 tier in episode 2. I don't know about episode 3, but
So she got 2, didn't she?
no, she got the
Because it
grand.
started.
She got the
It started
grandma.
with
Didn't she?
Fine.
Oh, right. I forgot.
It started with the watch.
I completely forgot about her fucking side plot. Honestly,
Yes.
I only remember the old lady. Okay, she
That one
got.
did feel a little not earned, but
That one
it
was
was a
kind of
nice
why.
little
Like,
like,
I
here's
mean,
the
I
introduction
thought
to this character.
I thought she was gonna farm the old lady's family when the old lady
I
died
also
12,
thought
right?
she was gonna farm the family.
I'm like, oh, that's like fucking 4 tiers right there. You're gonna get the
Yeah,
old lady, and you're gonna get her the 3 family
the
members. I'm
dad,
like,
the mom,
because
the
you had them,
granddaughter.
yeah, you had them spend such a joyous time together at her last moments, and then it's like, nope, she got 1. We didn't even see the reaction to the family
We
to their.
did not get their family's reaction.
She literally
Bro,
just dropped dead on the
she
bench.
just died on the bench.
Just died sleeping on the bench. I'm like, we just not gonna react to this.
I was a little in disbelief when it happened.
That like
'Cause
took me out of the episode a little bit. I'm like,
I
is that
was
who's
just
gonna
kind
lead
of
this?
like, I was just kind of like, we're not gonna just like have this happen, right? And then it does, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's a tiny bit silly, but I kind of hope, and you get a little bit, I feel like, of it leading up to this in episode 3, but in the opening, when you watch the visuals, it has a lot of like what looks like her adventuring around. And I hope that that's not just like the opening being cute, and we actually get to a point where it's like she kind of like goes off on her little adventure to, collect the tears or something, right? Because she's obviously not doing that shit in this one little village that she's never left, right?
Alright, so I imagine she leaves it at some point,
I
surely.
imagine she will too. And there's definitely some things that you'll see in episode 3 that like maybe lead towards that, maybe don't. Who knows? I just feel like, where's my grand adventure,
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be kind of like Elena in a sense, where it's like a bunch of, episodic stories.
Mm-hmm.
But hers have
And it
more
kind
of
of
a
is,
goal,
but so
where
far,
Elena's just kind of dicking around, but
yeah, it kind of is, but so far she hasn't like left her home, so
yeah, we'll see.
it's been nice though. I like it.
It's fine for what it is. I guess one other thing I did actually, I have now fully caught up on 2.5D Seductions manga,
I have not.
and now that I've reached the latest chapter, I still don't know who my favorite heroine is.
That's kind of exciting.
It's like it's neck and neck. I mean, it's just difficult. They're both great.
Neck and neck between the main two, I assume.
Yeah. I mean, I like all the characters, but in terms of
You have the character that gets content, and then the character that was built for you in a lab.
yes,
Tough competition.
I mean, she still gets everyone gets content at this point.
Yeah.
I wish she'd get more
I
content.
really,
If she got more content, though, I feel like I'd be able to make a decision. But that's like the only thing that's keeping this neck and neck right now.
to the point that I've read, I really liked the is it Nagomi? The
The like the half
purple
colored,
and pink
yeah,
half, yeah.
yeah.
I liked her a lot.
Okay, you'll see a lot of her. She's recurring.
Good. I don't know if she'll like ultimately win for me, but I liked her little story arc that happened like a lot.
You know,
We'll see when
her
I
arc was
have
pretty
time
good.
to continue that.
Yeah, I feel like anytime this series enters like a training camp arc or a comic at the fucking story, just like the
Just
writing
starts.
quality, just
Yeah.
like it's like the writing fire me. Like it always just happens to be those type of arcs where everything just starts slapping the best, which is what
I feel
you're
like that's
about to
kind
start
of.
entering.
I feel like I mean, a lot of like writers have gotten a lot better at kind of like the path in between, but I feel like that's almost expected in a way, or at least it makes sense that it's like, in my head when I think of stories, I think of like major arc, major arc, major arc, major arc, right?
Right.
And then it's like, okay, well, I have to get them there. Maybe you add something in between. Maybe you have like a little mini thing happen just to kind of like flesh out the story. But it's like when I think of the stories that I have like thought of and written, it's like I would feel the same would happen when I'm like putting in mini story arcs and stuff in between, where it'd be like it still might be decent, but it might not be as fleshed out as like major story arc I've thought of for the last 5 years.
Right.
Kind of how One Piece feels a lot of the time, where it's like I think there's a lot of really good One Piece arcs, but you can also kind of feel which ones, or at least you can have an idea of which ones it feels like he's had thought out since the beginning, and which ones it feels like, oh, this probably got added somewhere along the way.
Yeah. You can almost feel that like a little bit with ReZero. Like the most recent, well, besides the Arc 9, not Arc is what was
Yeah.
planned, but Arc 7, which also became Arc 8. Apparently, like when he originally thought of the story, they weren't in there, but eventually along the way they did. And then obviously he didn't plan for them to be as long as they were, so it's just like shit just happens along the way, you know. You gotta roll with that, however it goes.
Story sometimes writes itself.
Yeah,
I'm excited to read more 2.5D. I just need to find time
fair,
to do things.
fair, fair, fair.
I
Yeah.
haven't even gotten to watch Peak yet this season.
Now that I've like actually like read through it, I'll like never read through anything else for another year, and that's usually how it goes.
Like anything else?
Yeah, like I was in the reading
Just your
mood, and
one.
now I've just read through like almost 200 chapters or something. So now where am I gonna be at?
Now you feel satisfied. I wish I could do that. What happens to me is I end up watching 3 episodes of something and then I decide to read 40 chapters of the manga, catch up with what the first season will be, and then never read any more of it. It's a really funny dynamic because most time I don't really pass the first season content by much,
Yeah,
but I'll end up passing the first season content and then watching whatever remains and then being like, oh man, when season 2 comes out, then will remember, oh yeah, I started this and never finished. what was it? That kind of happened with 100 Girlfriends, but I think I like read a decent amount of like what ended up being the season 2 content.
Yeah. It's OP sometimes. I guess we can move on to our plan discussions.
Are we spinning a wheel to
A regularly
figure out which
scheduled
one comes
programming.
first?
Alright, I got our randomized list. Forgot about that. Let's see. Summer pockets. Uh,
We have had some developments in all 3 of these.
let's see. Oh, the exact same order as last week. Which watch Summer Pockets and your Forma.
I feel like it's like a generally decent order, so fair
Sure.
enough. We'll start with Peak. That's fine.
Peak.
Um,
So
I say that.
she might be stupid.
She, I listen. I love her. Stop that. She might be stupid though.
She might be stupid.
And by might I mean is.
Yes.
I did like we all knew. So the first, because there was basically what 3 chapters in this episode, kind of split up into little like episodic things.
Mm-hmm.
The first part was the whole like school introduction thing. And we all knew she was gonna fuck it up somehow, right?
Right.
Like they put too much focus on like don't tell anyone you're a witch. But I still kind of laughed at how it happened.
Yeah. Just because
It was like
she's stupid.
she's so fucking stupid, and it just like them adding the teacher little like bit there made it kind of fun because it was like I don't know how much I'm really gonna care about the teacher throughout this, but it was fun to just have like the teacher thinking that she's tripping out the whole time.
So yeah,
That
this
he's
has
just
gotta
like
be like an illusion or
growing in
something.
size.
Yeah, I mean, which also leads to us finding out a question we had last week of, do these people know that like witches and ogres and stuff exist? Because the world seemed like they should know based on
Which
the
is like
explanation, which apparently they do know. So that's
yes,
something.
it's like yeah, it's like they know, but they know in a way that's like we don't see it very often, which I guess is fair.
Right.
Like it's like me and Komodo dragons. I know that Komodo dragons exist. But if a Komodo dragon came into my classroom, I would be like, "Whoa, what the fuck?"
And then I'd fight it for you, you know? Get it out of there.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, the class dynamic was kind of fun. I don't know. So they did the little roll call thing, and I was like, I guess I'll pay attention to the characters that they're pointing out, but I don't know how important I necessarily expect that to be.
I feel like they're not. But
I mean, the ones that we've met, probably. The other ones, no.
yeah, yeah.
Kind of my thoughts. So like the 2 girls that in the second part of the episode kind of befriended her. Like I'm sure they will be
Yeah, yeah. In future
important
episodes.
in like a recurring way.
Right.
Dude, I was like
But
laughing. I actually unironically was laughing when she like enlarged his first hair,
Arm.
then head, and then arm. When he said like, "Oh, this is like
when he
leftios
did
or whatever."
Oh, he hit
he
the,
I
the
did
actually
the
Cheeto.
laughed. I
bit,
was like, "Why the fuck is this so funny?"
He
But
hit the,
like,
when
he
I
he
hit
don't
the
com-
know.
big fucking Cheeto, yo.
him committing to the bit did make
Yeah,
that a lot funnier to me.
it was based.
Because he was
I
just
fuck with
like
him. He's actually
he's just
based.
sitting there and he's like, I have no choice now. This is just what I gotta do.
I respect the dedication to something that he got thrusted into with non-consensually.
And then yeah, so the second part, there isn't really too much to say about the second part. I liked that in the second part, the friends she made just kind of had like nice, comfortable personalities that were like I could see these being fun, and also they were like how do I put it? They felt distinct enough that I was like, okay, I'm down with these characters.
Yeah, I saw the hair clip, and of course that was like neuron activate, so we're chilling there.
Oh, okay.
I did
And then I heard
laugh.
Takarashi's voice, and that was also neuron activation.
I did laugh that the one friend was basically immediately just trying to get the deets on our boy. It's like, hey, I need a boyfriend, so like, let me know.
Dude,
she
you know
she
what I, you
talked
know what
shit on him. I fucking believe it.
I, you know what I actually
She did just like toss him under the bus in like a jealous way, which made sense, but it was kind of funny. And then she's like, as he's just saving the day.
Yeah, or what did you like, Spit? As we interrupted
Oh
you guys.
no, I was just gonna say that when I went into the episode, or like in the first few minutes, I expected this episode and like the next few episodes to like be about them trying to hide their powers from the rest of the school. Like that was my first thing.
Yeah, and then
But
they
I
immediately.
like that they revealed them, you know? And now it's like I don't know, I find that a little bit more interesting, I guess. Like how they hide it is like so kind of I don't know, to me it's like I guess not tropey, but like I don't know, that was my expectation and I like that it like was not what I expected. So I like that aspect of it, and I'm interested to see, you know, how they
I like
start
that
interacting with other people.
I like that they turned it into like a nice thing too, especially like going into the third part of the episode now. Um, the, I laugh at how he kept making jokes about how the class is just stupid, right? Or just like it was he kept saying like head empty, no thoughts,
Yeah, head
stuff
empty, no
like that.
thoughts.
Yeah,
But it did feel very like in the way that you're saying like going against expectations. Um, it felt nice that they just kind of made it like not only did they end up revealing their big secret to the whole school essentially immediately, but the whole class was basically just like, "Oh hell yeah, that's awesome!" Instead
yeah,
of
didn't hate him.
what he was expecting, which is something much just like more judgmental and bad. And
Yeah.
it we didn't necessarily ever expect that, but it was still nice to get it as like it not being something so dramatic and it's just, oh okay, the whole school's down.
I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, no, I think that was most of my thoughts from it. I was actually just pleasant. I don't know. I still remember the freaking scene in the classroom. Like, you know, I mentioned this before, but like I rarely laugh at anime. Like I think Kaguya and maybe some other shows are like here and there like able to make me laugh, but like I respect it. So I'm excited. This is
Talked
actually
about multiple
a
times
pleasant
how
surprise.
like especially for English speaking, like the Western audience, like a lot of humor in anime is kind of lost.
Yeah.
So it is nice when you get something that is funny enough that you're into it still.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think the first episode had references in it that I definitely not even think I know it had references in it that I definitely did not understand, but there's like enough in there. Especially this episode is more like there's like Hunter x Hunter and Dragon Ball references, like that made it
Oh
obviously
yeah.
much easier for my pea brain to understand, but
I don't want to reveal him in otaku. Yeah.
Would you have been one of the kids flying around like a Dragon Ball character?
dude, fuck no. I would have been one of the people close to the ground, like, yeah, let's just try it out down here. I would
But yeah,
not
it
be
was a
fine with
nice
that.
episode. I am interested, so because we talked about this, it's a Shonen Jump series.
Right.
So like the assumption is like the episodic formula and everything, like setting us up is nice. But the assumption is just because it's Shonen Jump that we'll probably get into some like bigger plot at some point.
It'll probably be
It
like
might not
some side
be
arcs or something.
yeah, it might not be like giant arcs like what you get from like the battle shonens, but I'm expecting at some point we'll get into something a little bigger, which will be nice because I'm kind of curious to see how this show will handle a little bit more of a not necessarily serious plot, but just like more involved plot.
Yeah. Yeah, we will see, certainly. Or we won't, actually. You never know. Maybe.
I mean, if it
Yeah,
never happens,
the real plot is in the 27th episode that we're not going to get this season, but next season.
Oh yeah.
other plot line to keep track of. How high will she climb my top 25? Will she make it into the ranks?
Probably.
Will she make it into top 10? Who
Maybe.
knows? I think like top 10's competitive, but it's definitely possible. Because I look at like the 8 slot is Nami from One Piece. And I like Nami a lot, but that definitely feels like a very winnable spot. Anything above that is probably hard. Not necessarily winnable for this character, but a winnable spot potentially for
Right.
someone one day. Maybe this character. So we'll see. The show's good.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it so far. Alright.
I don't.
Summer Pockets.
I'm. So we still haven't met all the girls, which is funny.
Yeah.
There's fucking
Um,
still one left, and we barely met one of the others.
we got we got we got a small introduction to the blonde, and then we got more content with the two that we know.
And we drove past the other one.
And yeah, we just booling on the scooter.
Yeah, so
So I don't really know.
Spat said he hated the girl last time we started this episode, and she's like, she's being neglected. How do you feel now, Spat? How do you feel?
I don't know. I was just happy. Like oh my god, if I say like I was
You're
happy
happy
not to
that she
see
was
her.
neglected? That's crazy.
No. 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 No.
Spat
No.
Spat loves neglecting
Wow,
children. That's crazy.
No, that's fucked up.
that
No,
is
no, 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 no.
crazy. I heard that about him right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
Nah. No, no, no. No, I forgot I saw it on Twitter. It's like such an obvious trope, but it's like the one where like the guy walks into a girl like changing or like in the shower or something.
Yeah.
I think I saw it on Twitter. Something it was some tweet about it. I don't remember exactly. And then like one day later, like I watched the episode and that exact same thing
This
happened.
one,
I was like,
this
yep.
one felt even sillier to me than like most of them, though.
It was like so
She
random.
fucking
Like
Because
what
it's
threw
like
like
the
changing
ice
in
at
like
her.
a
Like,
I don't know,
alright.
whatever.
him throwing the ice at her was funny.
Yeah.
It like makes no sense, but I was like, okay, that's at least like some form of comedy for this dumb moment. But she just like changing in a back room directly connected to
A
the
shop.
store.
Yeah, I wasn't like, cause usually, I don't know, maybe I just haven't seen enough stuff from Key, but I mean, of what I've seen from Clannad and Canon, and I mean, all their other stuff. I mean, they did, I think they released a Road Angel Beats. It's not like an actual visual novel, I don't think, but mostly everything they do usually doesn't have anything like that, and so I was definitely not prepared for like fan
They're
service
generally
jump
more
scare.
wholesome.
Yeah, sure, let's go with wholesome. I mean, they're more like drama
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah.
oriented, and not like, I mean, they're definitely like tropey, like visual novel type things, but usually they're not like, I'm not gonna call this like arrow gay or anything like that. We're far, far from that, but usually they're not
Even
the
this is a
ones to
little
like
far for them.
throw in like a fan service type of thing. Yeah, maybe I just haven't played enough. Who knows? Maybe the other anime adaptations just didn't have that stuff in there. But what I have played of like Clannad, that nothing was like that in there, and other shows I've seen there haven't been. So it was definitely unexpected I mean, we've been around the block for a while, so I mean, it's like doesn't
To us,
phase me
it's
at
kind of
all.
weird. Yeah.
I mean, it's still weird, but it's more like,
Well,
oh, anime, and then you move on with your life.
it's just like one of those like convenient that she just happens to be like changing in a random back room instead of just like in a bathroom or like a more private space than like a normal person would. But that's
Right,
like an anime moment again, right? It was just odd to me because it's a door just directly connected to the store,
right.
right?
I mean, I guess you're
Granted, I
never
guess the
expecting
store
anyone
wasn't
to
like
open that
popping.
door.
Yeah, it's not like they had tons of customers or anything. It was kind of to me like of all of these types of scenes I've seen, it was one of the ones where I was most like, this setup doesn't make a lot of sense,
No, anime moment.
but it's fine.
It's not important.
Um. Also, what is Bro's like problem? I know we'll find it out at some point, but he's
I mean,
like
this episode he kind of hinted that maybe he was just like
he kind of
stressed or like
like
bored of like a repetitive life or something. But it also
Yeah.
like I don't know. At first, I just
yeah
assumed he got like injured swimming or something, and then
yeah
but that hasn't really
because
like been the case.
we
Some sort of
essentially just
trauma. I don't
got
know.
like essentially the idea of the plot is like he just wants to have like a summer vacation, right? That was kind of what we
Maybe he
got
has
out of
like
this episode.
a lot of expectations put onto him. Maybe because like
Yeah,
think about like the beginning how purple hair girl was getting neglected, right? Maybe
hmm
he has something similar that he can relate to on like maybe not getting neglected but more like pressured by his parents. Like maybe he's really good at swimming, right? And they're pressuring him to
yeah,
do all this stuff, but he doesn't really want to fuck with it. But he feels like he
yeah.
doesn't have a choice type of thing.
Like I got the sense from his little talking about not really having a summer vacation or like the joys of it or whatever is like, oh, he probably spends most of his summers like training and stuff like that, which leads
Yeah.
into that idea as well. And so this is kind of his escape. But even then, I'm like, he talks about his life as seeming so much more like depressing in like the idea of an event happening to be than just that, right? And he's saying shit like, I'm a bird who's broken its wings. It can no longer fly.
Maybe he's just being dramatic.
That it could be. That just feels to me more dramatic than just like I'm tired of the pressure of swimming. Now, if it was something like you mentioned, injury or something like that, I can see that kind of like tying into that little dramatic flair of his. But
Yeah. I mean, who knows?
I feel like also one of the downsides of the way we're kind of just like splitting time with all these girls is I don't really feel like I got to meet very much more of any of them this episode.
And well, we got 24 more episodes for that, so
Yeah, like we have time, but it's almost hard when it's like instead of having a 20-minute episode to really get to know like the white-haired girl, it's like, oh, I'll get 6 minutes of her this episode, maybe.
yeah. I mean, I
And
think
4 of those minutes, she's just being distant. I don't know how I would describe it.
it's like the awkward thing because it's like it's a visual novel beginning, and so like every visual novel, you meet the characters that you're gonna interact with, and then you gotta like choose which one you're doing. So I imagine we'll probably meet all of them by episode 4, maybe like properly meet them by
Yeah,
episode 4, and then I think it'll probably start to get into more like story territory with each of them. Um,
ping pong guy is my goat.
That guy's funny. I like him.
Training up in the mountains
on the ceiling,
Yeah.
for ping pong, mind you. When
fucking takes
Just
off
when
taking
he's
off the
on
weights.
training,
the fake weighted weights
Yeah.
for the arm
That
games.
was funny.
said I haven't taken these off in years.
Like, alright, bro. Relax. It's like a ping pong. He's not
Yeah,
even
it
good
was
at it.
that was the funniest part. It was when he's like, "Wow,
He's like,
you're quite
you're
good,"
good. He's
and
like,
then
just like, eh.
it's like, "I've actually never played." They looked decent. Maybe our boy's just a natural.
They did look decent at doing the ping pong, so who knows?
Yeah, that character was good. We like formally got introduced, I guess, to the water gun girl
Water sniper, and
and
then the
water sniper and the shirtless guy,
yeah.
which just seems like a funny duo.
It's an interesting dynamic for sure. You know, you think like being on like this tropical, I don't know, tropical, but like this more remote
This
island,
wouldn't
like
be like a
she
socially,
wouldn't be,
yeah.
it'd be more acceptable to be shirtless, but all right. I don't know.
I think the gag of her just like always seeing it, like when someone's shirtless is funny. Like after the
She gets
shaved
shot
ice
at. It's like,
scene,
where the fuck?
he gets shot out like immediately.
She's always in the tower, I guess.
Got a sixth sense for it or something, I guess. I also like that I don't this is talking about like humor that's lost to translation. Um when they screw up his name, I don't know if there's like a bigger joke there
I don't know. His name's hard to
or if
remember.
it's just
Or it's,
them screwing up his name.
I think it's just them screwing up his name. I don't know if I could see much more being done there.
I have no idea because I don't have like knowledge of pronunciation and kanjis and stuff like that. Because that's my first thought, right? Is that there's some like
Yeah, there's not like they're
funny,
misreading his name though. They're just missaying it. It's. I feel
yeah.
like if they saw his name written down, they said it wrong. Then maybe it would be one thing, but
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They just did it 2 or 3 times this episode, and so I was like, I don't know if the joke is just that or if there's something bigger that I don't
Oh,
necessarily
yeah, I
understand.
heard that like I think like there's like something in Japanese where it's like one kanji, like only in names. Well, this is only in names, in
Mhm.
people's names, where like one kanji can like represent like different, like they can have like different pronunciations, but only in names. Like I'm like 99.9% sure it's like an
Yes.
actual thing, where it's like they'll say the kanji and then they'll like reference like what the actual pronunciation is, and it's like a completely different word. It's like super complicated, but yeah, it's like an actual thing. So I that might be the source of like what it is, but yeah, it's like I don't know, some complicated Japanese thing. That's all I know. It's just like in names, the same kanji can have like different pronunciations. That's all I know.
I
But
mean,
that might be
yeah,
the source.
but it's still written form, so it doesn't really apply to what we're talking about. They're just getting his name
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know then.
It's completely unrelated, but I picked my phone back up to keep playing the Monica Gotcha, and fucking I've not gotten a stun in like 12 hits. It's actually kind of irritated.
I'm currently working towards you right now. I'm on the mermaid level. Not the boss fight yet, just clearing.
Yeah, this boss
I
fight pissed
mostly
me off.
just I hope next episode we can formally meet the one entirely meet the black haired character because we haven't met her at all.
Yeah.
There's like a purple haired character that we haven't met at all that I see in the opening. That's like I think I always see her with the blonde. So it's like we don't have to fully finish rounding out the cast next episode, but
Wait,
I
did we
would
see
like
that
to.
little? I don't know if I missed it, but we saw the
I
little
don't
cat
remember
thing.
seeing it.
We didn't see it
Yeah, I
this
didn't remember.
episode, so I don't
Yeah, I
know.
didn't see it.
Maybe there's like little woodland creatures in the forest.
Yeah, I want to know what it is
Actually, you know
or
what?
why
Speaking of
it
the
is.
weird thing, I'm not gonna click on it so I don't get spoiled. But I'm see its the voice credits are Konami Suzuki. It's the fucking one who did the opening. or I mean, not even just didn't want to do, the popular Japanese singer just is the voice of this little dog, cat, blue creature.
She doesn't
She did
voice a lot of
ReZero's
things
opening,
either.
first opening, right? Yeah.
Yeah, she does ReZero
Yeah.
mostly.
And some
Yeah,
other ones, yeah.
she's done one other voice role, and that was a Lost Song, whatever the fuck that was. She was the main character, apparently. So that's interesting. Like, I wonder what like even leads to that. Does she like the the visual novel or something? It's like, can I can I voice the fucking cat thing, blue cat thing? I don't know. It's interesting. Funny little thing. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's gonna be difficult to have too much of an opinion on anything right now, just because we are.
I think the ball's gonna get rolling with this very quick, but we don't necessarily know when.
Yes, we are currently in the opening like scenes of the visual novel, I guess, if I had to like take a guess. And we're still meeting the characters, we're going around doing different events. And I don't know. They had 26 episodes, maybe they should have tried they're all done too apparently. So like they could have I feel like
Yeah,
you could have just stitched some together to like get the ball rolling a little bit. Because the people who like this type of show are gonna keep watching it anyway, and the people who don't are not even gonna go past like
are
episode
gonna
one, maybe
stop.
two.
Yeah,
So I think it might have been just a bit better to go ahead and rip the band-aid off and get some introductions done. But maybe there's like stitching those episodes together wouldn't like form anything like more coherent than just playing the episodes weekly. I don't know. And I mean, there's a million other production things that probably go into whether or not you have like an extended first episode or not. So I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there that I think would be interesting, or maybe could have been helpful at the very least.
yeah, I would kind of agree. Just because I know that like the concept with a visual novel adaptation that we can already kind of tell is like we're probably going to be following the white haired girl's path with this, right?
Right. She
She's going
seems
to
like
be
very
our
much the most
pseudo main
prominent
of the
one.
show.
Yeah.
So it's like fair, but it's like I still want to get, and we will get our fair share of everyone else, but it's like I still want to get my fair share of all the other characters because that's kind of the point, also, right? Like we're gonna get to see one of the stories, but like if I'm thinking of this as like an advertisement for playing the visual novel, it's gonna have to show enough of all the other characters that it makes the people watching it who haven't played it be like, oh, I want to go do like this
I
character's
mean, I'm
route.
sure it will. Like we've talked about it before. It's gonna
Hmm.
have four stories for all of them. How long each of those are, I don't know, but
Yeah.
um, like at some point we will get to that. It's just more a matter of when. And the answer is we don't know when.
I also want to know why she wants to things that we will find out that I'm not really concerned about not finding out, but I want to know what her motivation for like trying to learn to swim and everything is.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get to that at some
Could
point,
be.
surely.
Yeah.
I think it'd be weirder if we didn't, but
I mean, obviously, it'd be very weird if we didn't.
it's like
She
a
never reveal anything.
very important feeling plot point to both of these characters.
Oh my god, dude, I just hit a fucking 200k crit on this boss, but I didn't stun it during the what's it called, so I'm not gonna be able to
So you're
actually kill it.
cooked.
Unless I stun it right here, that I'm cooked. I didn't stun it. I've not been getting any stun luck, which I knew was gonna be difficult, but I didn't think I'd be getting fucked over this bad. Slightly frustrating. Anyway,
I can't wait to get to this boss that's been frustrating you all day and then beat it in one.
I mean, you might have
Rub it in.
the problem. Like, this is like a very ragtag team I've put together to try and do
Yeah.
this, so it's like you might be more well equipped at the end of the day. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Right now, though, it is very frustrating fighting this thing because of the way this boss is set up. I have basically until it hits 11 self buffs, or it's over, basically. I don't really have that long, honestly. I have to first cycle it, basically, is what needs to happen. Or if I don't first cycle it, I need to get a very well timed stun so I can do cycle. But yeah, it's not looking like the game wants to
I'm
give
just
that to me.
wondering, when I do it, I might just pop the healer into my party
I don't have a healer in mind right
and see
now.
if I can just sustain.
Like I could
I
try.
do, and I have been raising her in the expectation that like I'll
No,
need her
also
at some
you
point.
you will not be able to sustain throughout the entire thing. At some point, once it gets like past 11, it will infinitely cycle buffs and attacks, and you will be stuck and unable to move, and your healer won't matter.
You don't know what I'm capable of.
Well, I thought my team was capable of more, but then it started
To
stacking
be fair,
buffs.
I don't know what I'm capable of either. So
Yeah. Anyway, unimportant to current discussion.
on to our third.
Yeah, your
This is
forma.
just our preparation for when Daniel and I show up and we're like, okay, so we've watched all of the Makia record side story. Here's our thoughts.
And that will
Ugh,
happen at some point.
it'll happen at some point. It's honestly not even that much content.
Yeah, it's like not even 2 cores worth of well, it's like 2 cores worth of
It is
content.
like 2 cores,
Yeah,
right?
it's like
Yeah.
straight up to it's like 13 episodes into 8 into 4 or something like that. So
I'm gonna keep my expectations low for that one. I think we talked about
I've seen
this.
like
Maybe
clips
we
from
might
it.
not talk about it
Like
in podcasts,
there's
but
gonna be some like pog moments where like the animation pops up. I'm not expecting much from the story or anything. Anyway, your
it's
format.
just not gonna be the same. Your forma, I called it.
My
Marvin is in fact
I
alive.
said Well, well,
Was
well,
Marvin was
well.
alive, and then
he was he was alive and immediately killed. So whether it was an important plot point or not is perhaps a different debate. But I did say I thought he was going to be alive and have had his head put on a new body. And that was how they like did the dupe.
I don't even know if
Although,
I think they just wrote a serial number on the fucking body and they got away with it or something. Or I don't know, because I think Doctor Alexi is probably the real villain in the story here.
That's what I
yes,
And
assume.
she
Yeah.
probably like did some finagling with the serial number on whatever body they dumped. So that's my current thought on what probably happened there.
that's what's still like kind of confusing to me. So like he was actually captured by Marvin, correct? That was like the
Yes.
framing of episode 3 confused me with this a little bit because then he like immediately was freed, able to be freed, and then just knocked her unconscious, and then we kept going. But I was like, okay, so there's 3 parties here right now. There's presumably Lexi and Marvin.
Right.
Yeah.
There's Homeboy working on his own to kind of like reveal the fuck shit that she's been up to, and then there's our protagonists. Kind of just like
Oh my god, I actually got the well time stun. Holy shit, I might be gaming.
they're like
Oh, it does not last long at all. Never mind, I'm not gaming, I'm fucked.
does not last at all.
It lasts like literally 2 more turns of break. I thought it was gonna give me another little section to do.
Rotation.
Yeah, I thought I was getting one more rotation. I did not.
Um, the the main characters to me just kind of feel like the how do I put it nicely? Do I even put it nicely?
No.
They're not super competent. I don't feel like
I don't know if
the
this is
main
really
girl.
like I don't know. I feel like
I don't know if this is a
investigation is
good.
more their field as opposed to like getting
Yeah, I
into.
don't know if this is a good showcase of their talents. That is true. Um,
I
but
feel like
they just kind of
the main
I feel
issue with
like
that, right, is you have a robot who can't harm other people, and then you have someone who's a cyber investigator who's out in the field doing stuff. Um, so I
yes,
just don't know how well that was ever
perhaps a
really
little
supposed
out
to
of
work.
position.
Yes.
It was kind of. It wasn't really like a funny thing but it was to me kind of funny just watching him just like stand there because he can't do anything else
He's like,
while she's being tied up and
if
everything.
you try and do anything rash, I will be forced to stop you. Like, feels like I understand like this is coding. Feels
like,
like an
like a
unforeseen
design flaw.
a design
Yeah,
flaw in your investigation robot.
it literally cannot protect its partner if it's against the human.
Yeah. Like this guys you're going against is like very much started choking her and he just stood there. Like at some
Yeah,
point
I was not expecting. I mean, it makes sense obvioly because we know
Before
like
they said it, when it happened, I was kind of
yeah,
like, "Why the hell is he just letting this happen?"
yo,
And then
just like do something. Hello, like
they like
I also
further
like
explain, and I'm like,
I mean
"Okay,
I
so the
understood he wasn't gonna do anything, but
yeah, but like it's
like
just weird to see.
he's capable of his own
Yeah,
thoughts. I thought something I noticed that was interesting in the episode when they're in the store and he buys like the stuffed animal. After she kind of like pushes it away from him and rejects it, he started kind of fucking with it as if he's trying to like bring himself some stress relief, even though that it
Mhm.
was like intended for her. So I thought that was I don't know if that was the intention or not, but I thought that was a fun detail if that's the
yeah,
case. Or he's like trying to
there,
be human like.
yeah, there is a lot of question right now with the way that this story is lining up of like just how human is he capable of being
yeah,
in
and you start to get
like
like more hints of that now in this episode too. Well, sort of, and the opposite too, right? Because he didn't
yeah,
like, save her. It's like both ways, kind of.
yeah,
Um,
we get some hints, and then we also see the moments where it's like
yeah, I
the
also found
line
the scene where like he like smashes Harold with like the hammer, or I forgot what instrument he used,
in the
but like
It's like
knees.
the
Yeah.
sledgehammer. Yeah.
yeah, and like his fingers like broke off, or like it's I think it's like especially weird also because it's like you see him like as a
He's
human.
attacking you. I feel like you should have some self defense though. Like
Yeah,
Hmm.
well, but like it's just weird to like see him as a human, but he's like actually like a I don't know robot or
Yeah.
whatever.
you know, like
Yeah,
the
thing. It's just
thing
I don't know.
doesn't
It's just
just kind of
weird.
like break off. He doesn't react to it.
Yeah, it's like it's not supposed to happen, but it is kind of supposed to happen. But yeah,
It's
um,
actually like explicitly supposed to happen.
yeah, it is. It's just I don't know.
You agree that the lack of any type of self-defense system
Yeah,
feels like a bit of an oversight.
I mean, I
yeah,
guess I
it's
could see
just
where a self defense
incompetence. I
system
don't
could
know.
go wrong in like a programming sense, but like
Yeah, it's
surely
yeah,
I don't know. It just
Okay,
seems
but we've already
interesting.
established that she did some fuck shit when she was making these. So that's
Yeah,
also where because I was kind of expecting as like that scene was like developing that maybe he was going to like end up just breaking the codes of the robots and like fighting back because we've established that this model is like theoretically dangerous and like capable of going against those things,
right.
right? But we never quite got there. It kind of just ended up him still being obedient to like what he's supposed to be, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But I don't know. Maybe they're saving that type of moment for later. Maybe he's going to just not be a not be capable of going beyond those things like the other two models were. Perhaps because of his own sense of morals or something like that. I don't know. We'll see.
Like he should theoretically be perfectly capable of making
Theoretically,
those decisions. But I guess he's probably also
yes.
more on edge because of everything that's been going on.
Yeah, that's true. Like if he did that, he would also be proving that that's something he's capable of.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I also
And
don't know.
then I don't love her like melodrama around him sometimes, but
We're in like
I feel
Gotham
like
2 or whatever.
yeah,
I mean, it
I
still
feel
works
like
actually.
the beginning of the episode was still like and she even admits it, right? But her like trying to treat him like a human and like getting mad when he's not being human, essentially. But then also being like, but you're not human. Like that's silly
it's
for
throwing her off basically that like
yeah.
he looks like a human, he mostly acts like a human, kind of, but like then he does things that are just utterly inhuman, and she's like, oh,
There's a reminder that
right,
he's not, yeah. Which is also the point, but is in that type of scene that we at the beginning kind of just as it was starting, it developed in a way where I was more okay with it. But as it's starting, I was kind of just frustrated because I was like, "What are you so mad at this robot for? For being like a robot?"
yeah.
But I do get it to some degree. It just I don't I like I think the way that their relationship to each other is developing, but I'm also like unsure of what direction it's supposed to be going as well, if that makes sense.
Right.
I think they'll just, yeah. I'm interested. That's all I'll say. I'm interested. I think I don't know, this episode I especially appreciated like the first kind of half of this episode because I think it like gave more kind of like
I think the
insight
first
into
half of this episode started sprinkling in some of the
like
gaps that we're missing from not having volume one. I think there's still
yeah,
things
that's
we're
also the weird
missing,
part. It's
but
like we talked about this last time where it's like weird that like there's not like a I don't know exposition or like an introduction to the characters. It's just like you're just thrown in immediately, and it's like I feel like that just contributes to a lot of confusion I'm having currently. But like
it does really make
it's
me kind of want
fine,
to
but like
read.
it's just I don't know. It's yeah, it just feels like I'm missing a part of the show. That's all.
Yeah.
It really
Or like a
makes me
part of the
kind of want
story,
to
I guess.
read. Makes me kind of want to read volume one just to know like what are they cutting here. Because that's one of the things that I don't necessarily know from watching. Right, is I know that we're missing content according to people, but I'm like, is it just like heavy, like world building and exposition? Is it more insight into just like
I think
these
it's
characters and their
mostly
backgrounds?
probably exposition and how they met, I think is what I've generally
Yeah.
gathered.
Yeah.
And so I guess they were like, that'd be kind of like boring if we didn't have like a proper like mystery in our season, or like for the most season. I don't know. Like,
I do think you would lose a lot of people um off episode one if it was like too setup-y, I guess. But I don't know. That's kind of why I'm like I want to know what the volume one content is,
right.
so I can have an idea of like, okay, why are we skipping this? Because I assume it's a much more detailed reason than just volume one's
I
is
mean,
boring,
generally the
right?
reason I saw it was like if we have one season to like make an anime out of this, then like
Yeah,
we
that's true.
can't waste like the 12 episodes we have or whatever trying to
Doing that.
do exposition and all that stuff and showing how they met. It's like the least interesting part of the potential stories that you could be doing.
Yeah, that's true.
I would still like to see that stuff, obviously, but they're just thinking like a general audience that might never pick up the books or anything. Like, what should we? Or we should show the appeal of the actual like series,
Series first.
yeah, as
It is
opposed to
also
anything else.
it's interesting to me too because like this plot that we're thrown into feels much what like it should be much later into the series, right? Like, and part of that is the volume one thing, but also like I don't know how familiar after one volume people are with the specific model he's made after and his siblings and all of that.
I feel like they
But it
probably wouldn't even give that much information in the first because I feel like the whole thing is like with with a show like this, it's like
Mhm.
you're meant to find out more details as the story progresses. So, I mean, I think the details from the first volume not being there is like, okay, it contributes to some of the confusion, but it's also like I don't
Yes,
even
but
know how much they would show. Yeah.
my point here is like with story structure, right? I feel like this particular arc, like an arc about him and his siblings being potentially like dangerous versions of the Amicus, right? And having the
Yeah.
one brother like break the one rule, like hard clad rule
Hmm.
that they're able to, and the other one and everything just feels like it would have been more effective to me later in the story when maybe we have met these characters before or we've learned more about the Amicuses and technology and stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe.
So it's interesting to me that this is presumably the first like major arc of the series. At least that's the assumption I'm led to
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
with them skipping the entire first volume. I'm sure there's some important story there,
Oh, let's
and
fucking go.
maybe it does.
I just crit Mermaid Witch for 400k and killed it. That felt so good. I switched my strategy.
um, excellent work. I'm proud of you. I'll
Bro,
be there pretty
this is
soon.
very important. I'm still paying attention to the discussion. I was also,
Yes, yes,
you
yes,
know,
yes, yes.
locked in on the side.
I
Oh
mean,
god.
I'm doing the same thing, but I'm doing autos right now, so I'm able to talk while I do it. Daniel's locked in, full focused,
Dude,
just gripping his
I hit,
armchair arm.
I hit a battle skill 100k. I'm like, oh, dude, if my ult right here, like,
Your ult
slams,
shows up.
if it slams the crit, like, I'm winning this, and it slammed for 400k. I'm like, that is what we're talking about. I removed
Let's
my
go.
second breaker for a buffer, and that was the key to one cycling.
Mhm.
Anyway,
But yeah, maybe Volume One has an arc that provides enough stuff to make that feel effective. That's just kind of been my feeling as we're going through this. Is I'm like Marvin being alive, for example, was a cool twist that we saw coming. But also, I don't fucking know Marvin, so like, why
Fuck is
did it
Marvin, dude?
matter? He was alive. He got the jump on us for a second, and we killed him back. Now he's dead, dead. And that was like the entire payoff of that. Maybe a little bit of trauma for the robot if they get trauma, but like I feel like it would have been more effective if I had any like previous thoughts or expectations about the character of Marvin. It's kind of similar to me with the whole like aspect of the brothers, even of the scientist that made them. Right, we're introduced to her 2 episodes before. We're like, oh, okay, she's probably the antagonist of this arc. It's fine. I just feel like this could have been a really cool arc later in the series. It's just kind of the feeling that I get from it.
it also makes me
Yeah.
interested on how they're gonna do. Like, I wonder if more future um arcs are going to be more episodic based and kind of rely more on the storytelling of those versus like
Mhm.
how it like connects to the world. Because
Yeah.
this one it's like very connected to the world itself.
Yeah, yeah, it does.
Um,
I think
but yeah,
yeah, I can see both avenues. I think I mean the fact that um they are like investigating crimes, I think that's like that kind of makes an episodic kind of structure not
Yeah,
somewhat natural, but like I
but the
don't know.
fact that
I am
it's
interested in learning about more about the world. So I don't mind what they're doing now in terms of like having it more connected to the world. It'll be interesting, like later on, like how deep they can go into it. But I don't know. I think the way they're doing it now is fine. But yeah,
what's also interesting with that regard though is it's based on a light novel and not a manga.
yeah,
And generally I feel like light novels tend to be less episodic in nature.
Yeah,
So that's what
that's true.
also makes me a little interested about how the story structure will be, because the genre and like just general vibes of it feel like it would be pretty episodic. But just knowing that it's a light novel series gives me just a little bit of doubts about whether it'll be episodic or not, just because it feels like most things um, that I can think of from light novels really aren't super episodic. I'm sure there are good examples of ones that are, but I don't know that many light novels, truthfully.
Yep.
I'll be interested to see. I feel like this is gonna. It feels like something that needs to wrap up next episode, based on where we
I
are right
definitely
now.
think this. I'd be surprised if it doesn't wrap up next episode based on where we are, but that's more of a. I just feel like we need to be wrapped up, because how much more can we really do with it from here?
Yeah, I feel like, especially with the pacing we've been getting, I feel like next episode is probably the end of this arc. And I don't know if it'll be like the end of volume 2 or not, but I'm assuming then we'll probably get like another 2 volumes mystery wise. Yeah, it's interesting. It certainly gives us a lot to talk about every week, even if it like is lightly confusing at times because we're missing like a considerable
Yeah,
amount of
confusion
content.
kind of contributes to the allure a bit, but like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I mentioned this. Like, I think I mentioned it before we started, but like, I legit had to like rewatch episode 2 before watching episode 3 just to make sure I like knew as much as I could, so I could at least kind of understand what was going on in episode 3. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like, not only do we have to take in the information we're getting about the current mystery, but we also have to like try and learn about the world at the same time. So,
yeah,
without having read volume 1, it's like, okay,
yeah,
this is what we learned about the world. This is what we're learning about the mystery. How do these connect? Like, all who are these characters? How are they important to what's going on? Like, there's a lot happening that. I mean, I can respect it. Like, I enjoy that it's not hand holding. But
yeah.
it's almost like it's not like it's hand holding. I mean, it's kind of by design, but it's by design out of like necessity for like a televised product as opposed to like the storytelling aspect of not
Mhm.
telling us anything about volume 1. I don't know. I could see them doing like do start with volume 2, flashback to volume 1, and then we do volume 3 to like end the season or something. That's my
Yeah, I could see
prediction.
that. That would make sense.
Because as fine as I am not getting handheld, I would like the backstory of these characters. I would like to know a little bit more. I
It
feel like
definitely feel like, obviously it feels like we're missing something, but
because we are
it
missing
does
something. Like,
feels like we're missing like some very important things as well. Like, she keeps talking about her sister
yeah, like she mentioned her
and stuff like
sister, and
that.
I'm like, I'd wonder if I'm wondering if that's like a Chekhov's sister, like she's gonna come up later, or if we would have known more about her in. Because she has like a distrust of robots, right? Like, I wonder if like something happened
Hmm.
with her sister with a robot, and we don't know about it because that was in volume 1. And I don't know. We're being given mysteries that might not actually be mysteries to other people who
We're
have like
being
read volume
given
1.
mysteries that might just be like, go read volume 1, nerds.
Yeah, it's interesting because I don't know if those are supposed to be mysteries or not. So it's just an extra thread that gets laid out that I have to pay attention to understand these characters, but I don't know if it's like actually important for later or just like something that was already done and dealt with. It's a dilemma for sure with skipping a volume, but
Wow. People rating this show have not been kind to it. I was just curious. I looked at the ratings.
The plebs don't
I
understand what's
feel
going on.
like 61% is a little
I
wide.
61% is crazy. What the
61
hell?
61 feels
Ew, it's not that
like a
bad.
lot. Like, I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, it's like
I don't think it's by any means like it's definitely doing for us what we wanted it to do for like the sake of podcast and discussion and everything, right? It's been very interesting in that.
Right. Yeah, I don't. I
But
feel like this season in
season
general,
one feels just like rude.
like if I go to
Like
spring and
it,
I sort by the average score, like the highest thing this season is a 79. Like there are a few 79s, but nothing is above 8. That's like insane to me, actually. Because I feel like I don't think there are any like insane like super. Well, I say that I really like Mono. I feel like if Mono holds up for all 12 episodes, then that'll be like the super banger. Maybe even the ninja one. I don't know. I guess I don't know. There's not like super bangers as like you would expect it from other seasons. Like if we just go back and look at Winter, like Apothecary. I mean, Apothecary Diary is still airing,
we
but
kind of felt
like
like that was the case though when we were like looking through it also, right?
I guess. But even just looking at last season, like there were 6 shows to go above 80%, and we don't even have one this season. Like that feels odd to me that we're in that type of weird
I think part of that too
situation.
is that we're early enough that not everyone's like rating shows
I
because there is
understand
the
that, but
end
like
of season
usually
bump.
you get like a small end of season bump, but like it's
It is
probably not
still
gonna
odd.
be. I don't know. Like the only one I feel like that is gonna have a chance of going above 8. I mean, yes, maybe Fire Force and maybe Musume. I'm surprised Musume isn't above 80 because I feel like the only people watching Musume
Or
anyway
Musume
are
fans.
Musume fans. So I don't know what's going on there, but
I mean, it's kind of the same with Fire Force season 3, right?
yeah,
Like
you'd think
the only
people.
people really still watching Fire Force are people who like Fire Force. I think Fire Force season 3 will go above 80, but that's because I think this particular arc they're doing is really good, and only Fire Force fans are really going to be watching it.
Let me check. I'm just looking at
Maybe
Andy
just
list.
average Shonen Bros.
Let me check the Mal. Maybe Mal's got something else going on over here. Let's see. Sort by score for the season. Okay, there are 4 things above 8 on Mal, and they're all kind of the same things that were at the top of Annie list. Black Butler was fourth on Annie list at 76%, but it's an 8.15 on Mal. And then Windbreaker, Uma Musume, and then Fire Force are all like right together,
Yeah,
8.13, 12, and 11
pretty much
respectively.
the same 4 shows that are at the top of any list. Just
Yeah, everything
use a little
is
more.
like somewhat similarly rated. I wonder where your foremost sits on on here. I'm having to scroll
Yeah,
down
that's the
pretty
question.
far, so it's a 6.45 on Mel.
I am wondering if there's a decent amount of rating bombs just from people who are now aware that Volume 1 was skipped and are just upset.
Your format should be eligible for reviews. Let me see if it has any so far. Okay, there's 2 that say not recommended. Let's read these out here. So,
All
is the
right.
light novel of Your Forma any good? I cannot say, but this, without a doubt, is a terrible adaptation. The author is not happy with it either. The way Satellite handled the recent
Is that
adaptation of
said
Evil
from the
Black
author?
by I have no idea. Um, Evil Black cutting out the first 3 chapters was a poor choice, but Geno Studio skipping Volume 1 of the Ellen, starting with Volume 2, and not even rescripting to make this change reasonable is one of the worst examples of cut content I've seen in a while. Um, and then they put a very mean comment about the director afterward.
I see.
And then the other review that is here, 1 of 2, or 2 of 2. She's supposed to be smart, right? Good idea, poor execution for a story in which the main character is set up to be an amazing genius, so good at what she does that no human can keep up with her.
I do
Thus,
agree with this kind
the
of.
only possible partner for her is an android. She's very disappointed. The show's synopsis made it seem like she's. Oh, it's a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. Oh, the other one's also really long, too. I didn't. Okay. I'm not going to read all of these. But I guess I kind of agree. I feel like the show never really like
The
said she was
show
a
made
straight
it
up
sound like
genius, but the fact that she's the only one that can keep up with the brain dives is
yes, the
something,
show
I
made it
guess.
sound like she was a genius at brain diving.
Right.
That was the way that I took it, at least.
yeah. Kinda.
Yeah, I think
So
what these people also found is just like the fact that Volume 1 was skipped. They weren't able to, or they were not
get past
fans.
that.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
not fans of being thrown into the fire, basically.
Which I get and kind of agree with.
I think it's a valid criticism. Even if it doesn't bother me particularly, I think it's valid.
I think it's valid because while I am still feeling okay about it, I also definitely can feel the whole that I can pretty much like pretty safely assume volume 1 would have helped a lot with, right?
Right.
And so for that reason, I can't say it's an invalid thing because it's like, no, I understand exactly what is missing, but then it's also like I feel like it's been good in like it hasn't been great necessarily, but it's been a good 3 episodes. So it's also
I think it's been
I'm kind of giving
watchable
it
so far.
time and assuming it'll give me that information. And if it doesn't, then we can have bigger conversation about it, I suppose.
Yeah, like if I had to compare this to, or I don't know, if I had to say where I rank this in the season, like I don't think insanely high of it, but I honestly I think I've only seen one episode of Lazarus versus 3 of Your Forma, but I
I
probably
like this one way
enjoy.
better than
Yeah,
Lazarus.
I
Well, not
like.
way better, but yeah, I don't
I
know.
definitely at least like it more than Lazarus. The only thing Lazarus has over it really is the production quality, which Your Forma isn't terrible by any means. It's not like great by any means either, but
I don't know. I don't know if this is a spoiler, but the production quality in Lazarus episode 2 is like slightly worse. I'll just say that.
interesting. I'll be
Yeah,
interested to see how
that's
that.
all I'll say.
That's all you
Yeah,
say.
you'll find out yourself. That's all I'll
Oh,
say.
oh boy. Is there like some
No,
CG?
it's not
Like,
like terrible. I
is there
just
like
it's like
CG stuff
it's like
going
a
on?
small
Or
drop off. Like I don't know. Like that's all. Like I made it sound like it was like horrendous in like episode, but like it's definitely like a noticeable enough drop off. It might not be like I think it's because of like things they added in the action scenes. I don't know. You'll find out. Draw your own conclusions, but that's how I felt at least. Yeah.
yeah, I mean it's. I'm sure they're probably gonna have a bump in production depending on the episode. I don't know. I'll
Yeah.
watch it and see. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
probably. I don't know. We've seen a lot of Adult Swim animes take massive hits to production quality like pretty quickly, so I guess a lot of people are more weary with this one than because like Uzumaki fell apart immediately, and that was only 4 episodes, and then Ninja Kamui apparently fell off a cliff for production quality and like story writing. So I don't know. It's it's how it be. So PK's seen
I saw the
Maebashi
rating for Mayabashi Witches.
Maebashi Witches was Dookie Water.
You water.
So it
I
will be an uninformed opinion because I stopped watching halfway through the first episode to save myself the pain later, but it
I think Lugia also had like not bad opinions of it, but like I remember seeing some Lugia comments about it
he said the main
that
character
seemed
yaps too
very
much,
like,
and that's true. She does
yeah.
yap too much, and the language they use is I don't know if it's the localization or what, but yeah, like take a shot every time she says vibes. I think they said that last week. Like you'll be dead by the halfway point. Yeah, this is a weird season for sure. Because I think there are a lot of like sleeper hits, but there's no. I don't feel like anything right now
We
is
have to
like.
like find the stuff.
I mean I found the stuff for me at this point. I might because I do have a smaller list than I usually do, and because I decided not to watch my Bashi Witches, I might add something else. I was
What
thinking
else are you gonna add?
maybe Vigilantes, just because I've already seen most of My Hero.
I think Vigilantes is a really good story.
And then I
I don't know.
also I've been seeing because I decided not to watch Apocalypse Hotel, but I've also been seeing really good
Mhm,
things about Apocalypse Hotel, so I might just watch it anyway.
that's interesting.
yeah, so I don't know, but yeah, it's
Also, I found out because we never talked about this, or at least I don't remember us talking about it specifically. One of my coworkers was talking to me about Moonrise the other day
I've been seeing some clips of it, and I don't
because
know because like people are hyping it up because there I mean there's some cool shots that I've seen from it, but I also don't know if it's like enough for me to like want to watch Moonrise.
so the thing that he mentioned that maybe we knew, maybe we didn't. I didn't think about it at the very least, but it's from the Attack on Titan director.
I knew it was from Wit Studio. I didn't know it was the director.
It's specifically the director for season 2 and 3, I believe. Yeah, season 2 and 3. He's directing the One Piece remake. But yeah, this was I think that's pretty much pretty much all he's done. Was he was an assistant director on the first season of Attack on Titan, and then got promoted for seasons 2 and 3. But that I just thought that was interesting because it was something that I never really remembered talking about or knowing about this, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Now I'm just looking at next season. There's a lot that I want to watch next season. No, we're
Oh, I haven't looked at next season at all yet.
next season has a lot going on, like a lot going on.
Let's see. This is not a shopping episode. This is just
Like
browsing real
Dawn to
quick.
Dawn season 2. I'll be
There's a
watching
lot of
that.
continuing seasons.
Yeah, there's
Initially, that's like my first.
Demon Slayer and Chainsaw Man movie, which I don't really care about the Demon Slayer one that much, but and then there's Dress Up Darling season 2, Kaiju number 8 season 2, Karuhana, which I don't think you've read any of, but you've probably seen it talked about in Weebs. Shield Hero season 4, I will not be
Yes, I've
there.
seen this talked about a ton.
But I mean, Sakamoto Days Part 2, Gochuucast is supposed to be another big shonen IP.
Grand Blue Part 2, Doctor
Call of the
Stone.
Night season 2, Bunny Girl continues, which I need to watch the Knapsack movie. Summer
It's good.
Hikaru died. I've heard a lot of good things about, and Cygames seems to have brought their A game for it based on the trailers. Doctor Stone returns. Grand Blue season 2. I'm gonna pretend like I don't see Rent a Girlfriend season 4 there. We get another KyoAni show with City. Silent Witch, I've heard a lot of good things about, and the quality of the show looks pretty good from trailers at least. There's just a lot of stuff next season.
There's a lot of things. Just the sheer amount of season 2s and 3s is
There
probably
are a
going
lot
to fill
of
up
like
most of my list.
big names there as well. It's like the main thing. And then Fall's got some relatively big stuff as well, and there's probably still going to be more announced for it at some point. So it's like just a lot going on.
Yeah, fall doesn't have as much specifically for me, I don't believe, but there definitely are things here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I want to watch One Punch Man season 3.
I won't.
I don't know if I will. I'm not watching To Your
I didn't
Eternity
watch
season
season 2,
3.
so
I don't think I'm gonna watch. I mean, I didn't watch season 7 of My Hero, so I'm definitely not gonna watch season 8. I'll finish reading it eventually. Then there's like Spy Family season 3. Okay, maybe there's not as much in fall. Just because I'm not watching the continuations of 3 shows that are the big names.
yeah, like I don't. We'll see. We'll see what it adds. But most of these continuations in this case are not stuff that I'm particularly interested in or waiting for.
Yeah, it's funny going back to spring now and just sorting by popularity, and the beginning after the end is like so high up there. It's just such a dookie dog water show. Like,
I feel bad for the beginning after the end fans. I've seen a couple of the clips.
I do as well. This is like the most telegraphed like tragedy that could have ever happened though. Like the moment I saw the trailer, I'm like, yeah, this shit's it's over. And especially like knowing who the studio is. Like I've seen one anime that they've done, and I knew. Especially it being two core, like there's no hope. I've also maybe thought of picking up Kowloon Generic Romance. I've seen good things about it, but I also don't know if I want to put another romance on my list right now.
Yeah, it's valid.
So I got the blue hair girl one. Um, Witch Watch kind of functions as one. Aharen is one for the most part. Summer Pockets. There's like some romantic undertones and other things I'm watching too. I don't know. I probably just shouldn't add anything to my list. I should catch up on everything, and I should watch my backlog, and then I can start. I can start maybe think about picking stuff up in the future. That's what I should do.
You're right. This boss is pissing me off because I never get my stuns.
Yeah, apparently Sonic said it's like a 20% stun chance basically instead of 60.
I stunned it on the open. That felt good. I kind of feel like, well, I don't know. I'm doing good damage to it, but I'm not breaking the shields very fast. So I
Yeah,
don't know
that's
if
the
I'm
problem.
scaling well right now.
If you don't kill it first break cycle, then you're cooked. That's all I'll say.
I mean, I'll definitely kill it first break cycle if I get to it, because
That
I'm doing almost an equal amount of damage to its break bar as I am
it's kind of
to
wild actually.
its health bar.
This is what I use.
Now I'm scaling a little more, but
I mean, you probably have more like total upgrades than I do, so maybe you'll fare a bit better. But I was able to limp past it with buffer,
oh, it
debuffer,
heals
defender,
its
dagger
break
breaker.
bar. That's why.
Yeah, it does do that. Also heals its health bar too, but not by a whole lot.
Yes.
Anyway, that's probably the end of the episode. Probably the end of the episode there. Started talking about different seasons. Started talking about the Madoka Gacha again,
Went
which I
back
mean
to the
we've been doing
Madoka
on.
for like the 5th time.
You guys got to finish your boss battles.
Well, I finished my boss battle.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, now I'm trying to beat the same one that he started in.
There you go.
Yeah, see, I have a very important update in 10 minutes for this game. Actually, is what is most important. So
Yeah,
that's why
we are probably staying in call for that update.
you gotta watch me. I wish the Steam version was out so I could stream my polls, but I refuse to download this on an emulator because I don't have one on my computer right now. I never kept up with BlueStacks after I quit playing Precon, and I didn't even keep it up with it for Precon. Anyway, if you enjoyed this episode, remember to like, comment, subscribe, rate 5 stars, all that good stuff. If you're on the audio only side of things and you'd like to go to the YouTube, Is the Order an Anime Podcast? Can't possibly miss us. Same thing for YouTube to audio only. Is the Order an Anime Podcast? We're the only one. Every Saturday, 3 p.m. EST, without fail, except for when we do, there will be a new episode out for you to enjoy. So once again, thank you for listening, and we hope to see you in another episode. Thank you, and goodbye.